Black cats and goblins and broomsticks and ghosts, covens of witches with all of their hosts. You may think they scare me, you're probably right. Black cats and goblins on Halloween night. Whee! Welcome to my 70's Confessional, where Miguel Myers ATX and Anthony Jerome M discuss one iconic horror movie for every year of the 1970s. Miguel loves the 70s. I do not. On this journey through this unique decade, we'll find out, do you really think the 70s are that great, or are you normal?
This is the penultimate episode, the ninth episode of My 70s Confessional. We're here to showcase some of the finest horror movies that the 70s have to offer and see if we can't help Anthony get a little bit of taste in his life, get an appreciation for 70s horror movies specifically, and the 70s in general. For today's episode, we're trying to do something a bit different from what we've normally done, where we do just kind of go line by line through the plot and talk about the movie, which I love doing. But this movie is so special to me. It means so much to me, and everybody that worked on it just means so much to me that I literally had a mental block. Anthony and I have had multiple conversations where I just did not know where to start or how to attack this thing. Multiple podcasts have done wonderful episodes on Halloween. Specifically, I'm thinking of Podmortem. They did a great episode on it.
Mwah.
Shout out to Renee and Travis,
JP.
John Paul. It's actually Renee's birthday today, so happy birthday to
Yes,
Renee.
happy birthday, Renee. Happy late Father's Day, JP. Travis, sup?
We bow down to you, our Spider King.
Spider King OBGYN. I hate that so much.
I love it. It's so much fun, man.
No, it's funny, but I just hate that it exists.
Okay, so like I was saying, a bunch of podcasts have done it. Documentaries have gone over it. YouTube videos have all gone over it. So I feel like I couldn't find my voice in the crowd of other voices talking about it. So perhaps in the future, I may be able to tackle it. Wasn't able to tackle it like I wanted to for this episode. But instead, what we're going to do is Anthony and I are going to have a commentary track for you guys of
Yeah.
Halloween. So we're going to hit play. We'll tell you when we hit play. And then we're going to watch the movie, comment on it, make jokes, whatever. And then at times when we want to expound a little bit on a thought, we'll go ahead and pause it, and you guys could pause it as well. And then we're just gonna have some fun with it and not be as fucking serious and all up in my head as I have been for the last week and a half or so. So that's what we wanted to do. I hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to be pressing play here in a couple of seconds. Like I said, we'll let you know, and then I hope you enjoy.
Well, before we get started, though, I did want to ask just a couple of questions.
Hell yeah!
Just because you have Michael Myers tattooed on you, your office is decorated with Michael Myers things. Where did the shape come from? What does that mean? Is it just because people only see a shape? I would like to know, where did that name come from, because I only heard about Michael Myers being called that recently.
Okay, so the shape comes from that's how John Carpenter and Deborah Hill referred to him in the script. He was called the Shape, and then that just kind of transferred over to when they were filming the movie and when they talk about, because he's never referred to as the Shape in the movie.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's more people who have, when discussing the movie, they call him the Shape. Even in Dead by Daylight, the game, you'll notice that it doesn't say Michael Myers; it says the Shape, because they couldn't afford to license the name Michael Myers. They could afford to
I
license the Shape.
knew it.
Yeah. And even
Well, see,
like with other people like Freddy Krueger, it doesn't say Freddy Krueger, says the Nightmare or something like that, you know.
oh,
In,
does it really?
yeah,
Okay, I
in Dead
didn't
by
know
Daylight.
that.
Yeah, but
See,
that's where the shape comes from.
I was really hoping that it came from like eyewitness accounts of people who saw him on Halloween night, and they're like, I just saw this shape, and I couldn't. It was just all black. So just I was hoping for a little bit more there. The
Yeah.
answer's
Well,
not entirely underwhelming, but
well, you're not far off. I mean, that's when he's referring to him when Carpenter. I believe Deborah Hill contributed tons to the movie. She's contributed
hmm
tons to um, the the universe that is the Michael Myers and Halloween. But as far as the script is concerned, I think she just contributed, or she contributed dialogue for the teenagers, the teenage girls,
hmm
and then also like, well, I don't want to blow my load on all my trivia before the movie's even
Jesus.
started. But anyway, so when John Carpenter is referring to him as the shape in the script, it's because you can never fully make out who he is. He's always in the shadows,
Okay.
and there's that. But so not really eyewitness accounts, but more like that's how he was written to be, is a shape in the
Okay.
shape in the shadows. So
I like that. Okay, I like
yeah.
that a lot. So yeah, that was I think my biggest question. But I did also want to ask because I know what a big fan you are. Like, when did you get into Halloween, and what made you like? Do you love the entire franchise? Do you love just Michael Myers? Is it you saw one thing and you're like, okay, this guy's cool? Like, what is it? Why is he your favorite?
So I didn't know this was going to be a therapy session today, Anthony, because I'm already ready to cry. No, my my love of Michael Myers goes back to, and I've said this story a bunch of times, and people are probably tired of hearing it. But one my second earliest memory is of Michael Myers. So I had to be 3 years old or possibly younger, um, and we were living in a house in Chicago, and it has three. It's got an enclosed porch, and I had a dream that I was running up the stairs from the basement, and Michael Myers was chasing me, and it became like this infinity chase where I was never able to get
Mm.
to the second or third floor to get to safety, and I was just looking behind me, and I was like, Michael Myers is chasing me, and I woke up and I was like, "Oh man, that was so great. That was a great dream." Like I didn't think of it as a nightmare. Like I had fun. I had a shit-eating grin on my face. It was so much fun. And so from that, my older brother, who was almost 10 years older than me, in the '80s, he was huge into horror movies. And so he'd have all his friends down there, and yeah, they'd be watching movies, and I'd be peeking from behind the couch or whatever. And so that's how I got my intro to horror movies, and then it just grew from there. Like I didn't I didn't have friends that liked horror. I was like the only
Mhm.
one. Like my oldest brother Ruben, he was the one who liked horror movies. My middle brother Kenny does not like horror movies, and so we were closer in age and stuff like that. So he never wanted to watch horror movies with me. Nobody in my family, like this Hispanic, this Mexican family, wanted to watch horror movies. None of my friends wanted to watch horror movies, so it was always a very very singular obsession that I had, and I didn't let it go. I always kept it kind of close to my heart, and it wasn't until like in my 30s that I was able, well, late 20s, early 30s, where I was able to explore this love I had for horror by like tracking down horror movies that I hadn't seen, and
Very cool.
all that sort of stuff. Specifically, the Halloween franchise. I did watch those like every chance I got.
Mhm.
The first Halloween movie that I got to see was for my 16th birthday. My brother Kenny took me to go see H2O. So that was
I think
cool.
that's what got me into Michael Myers.
Really, was H2O? Yeah,
I think it was
it's a great
H2O
movie.
and then Resurrection.
Okay, we're not gonna talk resurrection.
Listen, I was like 10 years old.
I
These
feel you.
movies, I was like, he's scary. Oh my god.
You're like, yo, Buster Rhymes kicked him with kung fu, kicked him in the.
I'm saying nobody else ever stepped to him like that before or since. So this
Yeah,
movie has a place for like to me this movie has a place.
yeah. Um, stay tuned for the Patreon episode where we talk about Halloween. Well, actually, like not to get off on a tangent, but Halloween Resurrection has a really good intro scene, like with Laurie Strode, where she's in the hospital
Yeah.
because she did the thing at the end of H2O, and I don't want to no spoilers for anybody, and she ends up in the hospital. So that was a cool scene, and everything else after that sucked balls
You know
for
what?
me.
When I was younger, me and my mom, we were just driving to the store one day, and I was talking about how like I like the Halloween movies, and my mom, she's like, you know what? They're gonna make those movies forever. And my mom told me, you know what? I imagine in the future, one of the movies that they're going to have is that Laurie's going to be in a crazy home and everybody's going to think that she's silly. And what's going to happen is that Michael Myers is finally going to kill her. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I don't know why you have all these opinions about a movie that's may or may not happen. And then what happens? This fucking movie comes out and it's almost exactly like she told it. And I was like, what's happening here? It was a very bizarre experience to see this scene that my mom not predicted, but just kind of like, oh, I called it. I said that would happen.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Well, I mean, your mom co-wrote Halloween Resurrection. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
You know what? Is that why she gets so much money but doesn't work? No, I'm kidding.
so, so but like I thought for the longest time, because I was a fan of Halloween, that I had to rep the whole series. So like I would ride hard for like 4 and 5. Well, not 5. I always knew 5 was a piece of shit. But like 6 and 7, which is H2O, 8, nah, and then Rob Zombie, nah. But like
Hmm.
um I used to ride for the ones that I liked, but then I was like, I really just like 1 and 2.
Okay.
And from 1 to 2, it's law of diminishing returns afterwards. 3 is its own separate thing.
Yes.
It took me a very long time to come around on 3, but once I did, I love it now. For school and all that, but like I'm a fan of Halloween. I'm a fan of Michael Myers. Um, the series itself has its peaks and valleys.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't think it's the best franchise. Like I've recently started watching the Child's Play franchise, the Chucky
Hmm.
franchise, and that's got some great movies in it. And then like Evil Dead is a great franchise, stuff like that. So, of the big three of Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street, I think Halloween is the best, in my opinion. Like the Friday the 13th franchise is shit. There's so
Yeah.
many bad movies in that franchise. It's ridiculous. And then Nightmare on Elm Street. Maybe you could make a case that movie for movie, maybe they're on the same part. I don't know, but
You know what?
that's
I'm
how
sorry,
that's
but
how I
I
feel.
have to take my chance right now. Jason X is the best Friday the 13th movie there is. You can fight with me on Twitter about it, but it's the best. It's a perfect combination of sci-fi and horror and nostalgia with Jason, and I am going to leave it at
Anthony,
that.
you come on
Listen,
this show.
listen.
You,
Let me tell you, Halloween Kills reinvigorated my love of the Halloween franchise. Also,
okay?
for those who don't know, Miguel just released a Patreon episode where they do discuss Halloween Kills with what's Surgery Head.
Surgery head. Yeah,
Surgery Head. Go ahead and give that a listen because I do want to hear Miguel's opinion on Halloween Kills. I just haven't listened to it yet. I just know it exists.
yeah. The Val, or AKA Surgery Head, is like the number one like ride or die dude for like Halloween Kills.
Hell yeah.
So he reached out to me. He was like, "Yo, can I talk about Halloween Kills?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Sure, let's do it on the Patreon." So, but yeah, so that's my experience. Like Halloween has always been in my life since I was 2 or 3 years old. Um, it's my favorite. It's my favorite horror movie. It's my favorite movie, perhaps. There's others that
Nice.
they're very close, but like Night of the Living Dead, the original, like I love that as well. And but yeah, it's something that is a constant. Like you said, I am surrounded by Michael Myers all day, every day
Mm-hmm.
in my office. It's an obsession at this point for me. Like I have tattoos and all that. So yeah, that's what I when I say that this movie is extremely special to me and holds a really close place in my heart. I mean it. So that's why it was difficult for me to talk about it. But how about you, Anthony? What's your history with Halloween?
So, like, my horror comes from my mom for sure. Like, my mom is not entirely sure, but she thinks this might have been. She thinks Halloween one might have been the first horror movie she ever saw in theaters. If it wasn't that one, then it was Friday the 13th. But she is always she's always told me about these horror icons like Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers. And so I've always known that this person was just like, somebody I don't want to fuck with. And she took me and my brother to the theaters. We saw Halloween H2O, and then we saw Halloween Resurrection, and I just had such a great time. And I was like, okay, I'm starting to like this Michael guy. He's cool or whatever. And then what happens? Really, really, really enjoy Halloween 2018. I just thought it was, to me, it makes sense. Somebody is so utterly traumatized by something that happened to them however many years ago. And then Halloween Kills. Listen, I don't know what you're expecting in Halloween Kills, but it's literally Halloween and there's a lot of kills. You get the movie tells you what you're
They
getting
told
with
you
the
up front, you know.
like so the fact. And honestly, I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna elaborate on this, but Halloween Kills is just Halloween 2 in a 2022 skin. That's all it is.
very
They're the
much,
exact same movies.
very much
and
that. Yeah.
and even then Dr. Loomis says in Halloween, no, I don't want anybody to know about this on the radio, because then they're going to see him in every house, in every shadow. He's going to be everywhere and he's going to cause them to panic. And what happens in Halloween Kills? They mention that Michael Myers, no, they don't even mention Michael Myers is on the loose. They mention two people escape a mental hospital and the town loses their fucking minds. So
Yo,
I don't know
Anthony's
what the hate.
spitting right now. Anthony got bars.
I don't know where the hate's coming from, because this movie is already, it's a repurposed Halloween 2, and
Mhm.
literally what happens Dr. Loomis told you was going to happen. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not going to elaborate, but
When Halloween Ends comes out, like we're talking the whole trio, like the Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. That
hell yeah.
we're doing that, and that's gonna be on the Patreon because I think that's gonna
Yeah,
be a fun. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
evil
Um,
dies in 126 nights.
so that was your history with the Halloween franchise. Like, how do you feel about Michael Myers? So you said that he's not to be fucked with, and you said that you have sometimes lucid dreams or nightmares.
Hmm.
Or have you ever had a nightmare? Even not Michael Myers, but just in general, of like a killer coming after you.
Yeah. I have had a lucid dream where like these demon looking creatures were trying to keep me from going away. Um, in my early lucid dreaming life, doing things like flying or telekinesis or super strength, like all of that takes practice. Like, as a human being, you can probably lift 500 pounds, right? But you have to work towards it. You can't just start lifting 500 pounds. It's kind of like that in lucid dreaming. Like, I can run, but I can't run 3 miles like consecutively. Like in a lucid dream, I can fly, but I'm not traveling across the world. I can maybe, fly down the street. So like
Yeah.
as I was trying to fly away, these creatures like kept grabbing me by the ankles and like kept trying to keep me in the dream world. And I'm like, hey, I gotta go. Shit's creepy. So
Okay.
I've had a dream where people like where things have tried to keep me in the dream, but never so much like a Michael Myers was chasing me through a hospital. Never like, oh my gosh, I need to keep changing locations so this thing doesn't get me.
Yeah.
Like, very fortunate I haven't had that, because I would have woken up with so much anxiety.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we are getting ready to press play on this movie. We're gonna do three, two, one, and then press play. And we're watching the version that is on Shutter. I know there's a bunch of other versions out there. Well, there's a TV version that's out there, but we're watching the Shutter version. Three, two, one. All right. So we hear the iconic music. It brings chills to me every time I hear it. Um, then we see the pumpkin come into play.
Yeah, I think Halloween has the most iconic music, whether that be just Michael's theme when he's chasing you or this opening number right here. I mentioned it. I may have mentioned it already, but like Freddy doesn't have this. Jason doesn't have this. They have some kind of sounds, but this is chilling on a different level. The other movies don't have
Yeah, and like I have the soundtrack. Like I listen to this throughout the year.
that.
I listen to the soundtrack. Like I have it on the LP. I have it on CD. I have it on tape. Like this is one of the greatest pieces of music ever written, in my humble opinion. And it's a very simple sound that Carpenter even said like his dad taught him. I think it's three. I don't know anything about music, so I apologize if I'm wrong. But it's like a 3/4 rhythm, and his dad taught him it uh, on the drums, and then Carpenter just took that from the drums to piano,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that's what we're hearing. And then the camera is zooming in right now on the left eye of this carved pumpkin, which looks so fucking good. I love this pumpkin so much. I have the tattoo of it, but it's zooming into the left eye. And what do we know that happens at the end of the movie with Michael Myers' left eye? He gets the hanger in in his left eye.
Hmm. Back
So,
alley eye gouging.
so yeah. Now we're at this, which says directed by John Carpenter.
Haddonfield, Illinois.
Black Cats.
Damn it.
Already messed up. You know why? Because I have it on the TV. Not a, here's what we'll do. We'll record it at the end of the movie. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
Halloween night, 1963.
We get this very similar opening, very reminiscent of Black Christmas. Very
Yes,
stranger in the distance, creeping at a house.
this point of view shot, like just like Black Christmas. You're right. We're seeing Judith Myers making out with her boyfriend, and at
Are
this
they
point,
necking?
at this point, if you've never seen the movie, like going into this movie, like you've never seen it, we don't know whose point of view this is, right?
Hmm.
It looks like to be a creepy peeping tom sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But so this mask, we don't know whose it was, if the boyfriend found it or if he brought it, but he takes it upstairs and then somebody will be using it later on.
Interesting. I wonder who. It's so weird to see, like, oh, my parents won't be home till after 10. Score.
Yeah. I love the stings, the musical
Yes.
stings. It's so good.
I think
I'm
they're
just gonna
very
be saying,
effective and very unique.
yeah. Notice how fast this kid is walking, or this point of view is walking. Now, like now, they just went into action mode, and going around to the back of the house. I mean, this is so creepy. Like Carpenter is a king of creating suspense. You know,
Yeah, it's what I like
uh,
about this movie is that it starts immediately. It's not a slow burn. It's nothing like that. It's like once the movie gets going, it's going.
yeah. And of course, everybody knows that those hands that we just saw were the hands of Deborah Hill. Those finely manicured, like 20-something-year-old hands were not a child's hands.
Oh, really? No, I
What do
thought
you
this kid
think
went to the
about?
salon.
What do you think about this timing here? 2 minutes upstairs, probably.
Oh yeah, that I don't know. I feel like I make this joke all the time about certain men. Like he looks like the type who would get head and ask you if you came because this is very quick, and all of a sudden the next we see him going upstairs. The next second, I'll call you tomorrow. Bye. Clearly a sign of a man who got his, and maybe you got yours. Highly doubt it, but I have to go.
Yeah, a very non-committal. Yeah, I'll call you tomorrow, sort of thing. So now he's going and picking up that clown mask, and it looks to be a child's hands. And Carpenter hid a transition shot right there. So it was one whole shot up until the point where we see that mask come on, and then that's a cut.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so now we're seeing Judith Myers naked, post coital.
I mean, I just feel so upset for her.
Yeah, just brutal. And always looking at his knife, always looking at the hand for some reason to let the viewers know what's happening. In the
It's
in the
very,
TV
yeah, I'm
cut,
doing that.
in the TV cut, the eyes are a lot smaller to show a lot to hide a lot of that nudity and blood.
Oh. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Because I do feel like this movie was always on TV.
yeah, yeah. I definitely saw it a lot growing up on TV. Now we see he was a little kid, Michael, all along.
The only
So
thing I like about like the fifth movie is that it borrows from this. I think it's the fifth one or the fourth one.
yeah, I don't like Michael as a clown. I don't like yeah, some there's some like action figures that have him as a kid as a clown. I don't like that. There's some artwork stuff like that. I don't ever think of Michael Myers as a clown, even though one of the original choices for the mask was going to be an Emmett. Shoot, I forget the guy's name, but it was going to be a clown mask.
Hmm.
So yeah,
I did
so
see that they brought in like three masks to choose from, and one
yeah,
of them was a clown mask. And John Carpenter was like, "Well, okay, that kind of makes sense." And then they saw the other choices, and they were like, "No, no clown."
yeah. Well, yeah, because you see the William Shatner mask that they use
Yes.
that we're going to see later on is so great. They just cut out the eye holes,
Hmm.
removed the sideburns, and dyed the hair from blonde to brown, and it looks so good.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know it was William Shatner's face, or a lot of people find that out really late. And like I've known that since I was a kid. I think I was watching this show called like I Love the 70's or something like that, or some horror movie show where they were listing off like scary horror movies, and like this fact was brought up. So like I always knew it. So to hear people shocked about this being William Shatner's mask, I'm like, yeah, I've been new 2 decades.
Yeah, I read recently that he's known for a long time that his face was used like that, and but he never wore the mask. And then for 1 year for Halloween, he put the mask on and uh, greeted trick or treaters with the mask on of his face. So I think that's
William
pretty cool.
Shatner.
William Shatner did that, yeah.
Yeah.
So now
so
we're sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna say, you were gonna say we're in the car now with Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis. I forget the nurse's name.
Marion Chambers.
Okay, okay, cool. She's in Halloween Kills.
Yes, and she was in H2O as well.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she was at the very beginning of H2O. She's the person who gets killed. You know he breaks into her house and she
I
goes and
didn't know
gets
that.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's help from
Oh
next
no
door.
way!
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah, that's her. Same
I
character
have to
and
say,
same actress.
I love a movie that starts off on a dark and stormy night. I'm already sold. Like you're trying to create the spooky vibe. I'm here for it.
Yes. Now we see the flash of the lightning as they're seeing a bunch of escaped mental patients on the lawn, and then
Very
music is
Night of the Living
going.
Dead.
Yes, yes. So fucking creepy. Like this music.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Um, they're pulling up to the hospital gate right now.
She's
He's
smoking
very
a cigarette in the
bossy.
car.
He's very bossy.
No, throughout this whole thing, and one cop eventually calls him out on it. He's like, I'm about there, and what is and Doctor Loomis is like, what do you mean? I'm right about the limit of which you can tell me what to do. Like,
Okay, that was fucking creepy. Michael Myers just jumped on the hood of or I'm sorry, on the roof of the car, like a spider monkey. And then for
grab
some reason, she rolls down the window.
uh, window's been up this whole time.
Yes, and now she is uh, drove the car a little ways, and now he's gonna go ahead and we see the wrench as he cracks open the
Oh
window.
my god. I thought he just had a scar or something.
No, that's that high definition that's fucking up all these '70s
Right.
movies.
One of the things I want to say about this movie is very shortly after Dr. Loomis tells you what's up, you quickly find out what the fuck he's talking about. Like he's like, "Hey, this thing is pure evil." Okay, weirdo. And then they're immediately put in a situation and when they're like, "What the fuck is this guy?" Like talking about Michael Myers, like they quickly find out exactly what Dr. Loomis means shortly after he tells you shit's fucked up.
Loomis is like, "I've been done told you, like I'm not lying."
I'm a
But yeah,
professional and I've been studying him for how many years? 15?
it it's just scene after scene, like they don't miss. Like that
Mm-hmm.
opening scene, and then 1978 with that second opening scene where they're what we just saw where they're escaped from the hospital, and now we're in Haddonfield. It's October 31st. This looks like I grew up in the Midwest. Um, this doesn't look exactly like the Midwest, but it looks good enough where you could be forgiven for thinking that it's the Midwest.
Got it.
And it looks so good, except that the trees are still all green, which wouldn't be the case. But still, they worked. It was a low budget movie, $320,000.
Right. And you can see all their fake leaves on the ground that they had to
Yeah,
buy and reuse for other scenes. So they couldn't just toss them on the ground. They tossed them and then they had to pick them up after.
and you like if you see right now she's walking down the street. If you see further down the street, no
Hmm.
leaves. But as she's walking closer, that's when we start to see
Yeah.
the leaves. And I heard a story that Robert England was actually on set here a couple days as doing the leaves part of
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
Then you had in part two Dana Carvey's in it. It's like this is just an all-star cast. A horror who's who.
Very that.
So Tommy has now come up. I have this thing with kid
Hmm.
actors that I hate. I hate a
Hmm.
majority of kid actors, but Tommy and Lindsay here do the damn thing. I have
Okay.
I have no complaints with them whatsoever.
Hmm.
And maybe that's why I hate kid actors or in horror
Mm.
movies, because this is what I'm judging it by. I think they did a great job here.
You know what? He seems like a pretty cool kid, especially when he pulls out his comics.
Hell
I
yeah,
was like, okay, I get where you're coming from. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm on that wavelength.
I would be friends with this kid.
Right, exactly. I mean, as a kid, I'm not trying to be friends with kids as a 31-year-old.
Yeah.
So
So
I
now,
really like how Laurie is dropping off the key to the Myers household on her dad's instruction because somebody's going to go look at the house later. And I really like it how the only reason you would ever figure out that Laurie's dad is a part of like real estate is the little sign on his car that says Strode Realty and the sign here at the front of the house that says Strode Realty. Like, had I seen this movie a couple years ago, the question in my mind would be like, why does she have to do that? That makes no sense. But
yeah.
now I know she's doing it for her dad. This is part of his job. I don't know. I feel like the more we go along, the more I need to be told, hey, this is why this is happening.
So what happened right now is Lori just sang her that bop, that ditty. I wish I had you all alone, just the two of us. As she says that, Michael Myers comes in a frame. So I don't think that she really wanted to be alone with Michael Myers, but she's gonna get to be alone with him later in the movie.
Hmm. And
Um,
here we see Dr. Loomis, an associate with the world's biggest pockets on a suit. Like,
but like Loomis, his suit is tight, but like it's really good looking on him, and it's not like a cheap material. It looks like I don't know, tweed or something. Tweed is tweed a material? Did I just make
yeah,
that
I
up?
believe so.
Okay.
No, it's a material. Like tweed jackets are a thing for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. So he just told his doctor off, and he's pissed at him, just looking at him like, well,
And this is another situation where like, so Loomis's performance has been like labeled as camp, but this man is a fucking doctor with people who aren't doctors all around him not believing the things he's saying. And so when he's frustrated or passionate, all of that makes sense because Loomis from Jump is saying, "Hey, this is pure evil," and everyone else is like, "Well, maybe he just like wants to stretch his legs, or like maybe Michael just got tired in this." Like they're trying to like just downplay whatever he says, and so I can understand why he's so frustrated at all times.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now we're at the scene in the high school where she's in class and she looks outside and she sees Michael Myers out there. This scene has been um, mimicked or did an homage to so many times after this movie came out. I mean, they've done it in multiple Halloween movies,
Mm-hmm.
even. But yeah, just this creepiness factor of somebody watching you the whole day,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like if we're just watching Halloween by itself, we're not talking about any of the sequels. It's so scary to think that the only reason he is following her is because she came to the Myers house.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
the only reason,
So
you know.
basically, her dad's at fault for being a lazy piece of shit. Not dropping off the key himself.
Yeah. This fucking pumpkin, I'm so jealous of it every time I see it. It's so huge. And these little asshole kids, Lonnie Elam gets his in Halloween Kills.
Kind of, right?
Yeah.
He gets spooked. This little boy with the pumpkin looks like kind of like the boy from the Babadook.
Oh, don't do that to him. The boogeyman. Oh, they trip him and he falls on his pumpkin.
You know that has to hurt your chest.
Oh,
Like,
man. Oh, yeah. Oh, and he ran into Myers here.
I
But
wonder,
yeah,
like, what
uh,
was Michael doing here?
yeah. There's well, again, you can say that he saw Tommy Doyle in the beginning in the morning with Laurie Strode.
Mm-hmm.
So he's already bird dogged where Laurie Strode is. So now he's got to find out where Tommy Doyle is. But yeah, like this really like he's putting in work. He's going all over town, right?
In the
And a
same
lot
car
of
he
it,
stole.
yeah, like it's supposed to be a small town, but it's big enough where they don't find his car. Like
Mm-hmm.
they know what kind of car they're looking for, but it takes them until the very end to spot it, and it's only a block or two down based on what Dr. Loomis sees. And so like the how big Haddonfield is has always been kind of questionable to me.
It's like Springfield in The Simpsons. It's like as big as it needs to be.
Exactly, yeah. And we hear the breathing in the mask.
As an
Uh,
asthmatic, I identify.
but here's the troubling like timeline thing again this is the morning. In the morning in class, she saw him, he had the mask on. But later on after school, the alarm is going off at um, at the hardware store where he apparently stole the mask and the rope and the knives.
And
So
that's when Lori's going to school, right?
no, that's when they're going to go babysit.
Oh, okay.
That's when they stop and they talk to the sheriff, and the timing's off a little bit. Don't
Yeah,
worry
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Don't think about it too
No.
much. Now Loomis is pulled over to make a phone call, and he's noticed Phelps' garage, the tow truck, and he sees Myers' gown, and that train that passed by was not scheduled to do so. But they just kept shooting, which is cool. And he sees the Rabbit and Red Lounge. This is one of the tattoos that I've wanted to get. Is the Rabbit and Lounge match
Mhm.
book on
One
that?
thing about me is I love like advertising for these fictional locations. Like I want a shirt that says Strode Realty. I saw a shirt
Yeah,
that said this. Like I love these little things that like I don't know. I love advertising for businesses that don't exist.
yeah. So we just saw Michael's first kill as an escaped convict,
Hmm.
second kill overall. Now we're in the high school, school's out, and we see our girl PJ Souls
Of Carrie fame.
of Carrie fame. We just did Carrie fame, and we just did Carrie, and she's playing Linda Vanderclock. I'm remembering the name now.
I was watching I was watching some Halloween making of Halloween documentary, and like she said she got to have a lot of fun with her character. She made up most of her lines, if not all of them.
Uh huh.
And so I always really like when like an actor is they're trusted. So it's like, yeah, do your job. That's what we hired you for. And she's one of the best characters in this entire movie.
Yeah. She has said that while they were filming, um, wow, sorry. While they were filming, Jamie Lee Curtis was actually jealous of her because she's like,
Hmm.
"You're having all the fun, and I got a boring character," you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
listen,
all
it's 100 years later, and Jamie Lee Curtis still has work off
exactly.
this same character.
So a lot of this dialogue, all the dialogue where the friends are talking, was written by Deborah Hill, and this adds so much to these characters. And this is actually the only scene in the whole movie when all three of them are together.
Mm.
So when you think about like the friendship of this movie, that's creepy. He's driving by very slowly. Hey, jerk! Speed kills. But like when I
He's
think
like, "What
about
the
this,
fuck did you say?
say it again. Say it to my face.
Are you talking to me who just learned how to drive?"
Yeah, he was doing very well last night. Um, when you think of this movie and their friendship, I think of them always together, you know. But this is the only scene.
Mm.
I like this. I love this line coming up here. I hate a guy with a car and no sense of humor.
I hate a guy with no sense of humor,
Yeah.
honestly.
So a lot of people have said that they're friends, but they're always so mean to Lori. But I feel like
Mm.
this is my friend group. Like my friend group makes fun of each other, you know?
Yeah, well, your friends look like they hate you. So
Okay,
maybe
that's fair. That's fair.
maybe you see this is a sample of that. This is they're lightly teasing her. Your
Yeah.
friends bully you.
But do we see here? Does he pop up at the end of the frame? Let me see.
He better not. He just drove away.
Yeah, okay, cool. But like all these establishing shots, like none of this is happening now. Like if you want to make a movie, he just spent like 2-3 minutes of them walking home,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, and it's so great how they're establishing their friendship. They're establishing this safe, quaint suburb, the suburban feel. Yeah, I just love this.
Same, absolute same. Because this does seem very, very high school. Ooh, here's
Uh-huh.
Michael peeking out from behind the ledge,
Uh-huh.
the wooded. What is that called? A bush.
Yeah, I'll push.
This is where Carrie got teased. Somewhere in this neighborhood, little boy called her creepy Carrie, and she shut him the
Creepy
fuck up.
Carrie, creepy
Yeah.
Carrie. So I love like Annie and Linda as characters. They're like this progressive, like feminists women who are like aren't putting up with shit, right? And they're like sex positive, and that's what they're gonna do what they want to do. And then Lori's more conservative and buttoned up. Like she's literally wearing what are those? Are those stockings or the white
There's like
the
at least knee high socks.
knee high socks? Yeah. Um, what do you think about the fashion that you've seen so far?
I hate it. It's very, it's
I've
nothing
just noticed
special.
these pants. Is it a pants? Or, no, it's a skirt, right? The skirt that Lori's wearing. What is that? Is that camo? What is that?
It looks like leaves.
What are
Maybe
those?
a precursor to camo.
Yeah, they everybody wore their own clothes.
Did they really?
Yeah, and then Lori here, they gave her like a $200 budget, Jamie Lee, and she went to J.C. Penney and bought all her clothes at J.C. Penney.
Only person really dressed is Donald Pleasant, Dr. Loomis.
Yeah, he's got some outfits.
Hmm.
I cannot believe that this man was still alive for Halloween Kills.
Oh, who is
Uh,
he? I don't remember.
he's the security guard in the hospital, and he says
Okay.
like my daughter died some 40 years ago or whatever, however long
Oh
it was. Yeah,
yeah.
but he's like shrunk. Like he you know what they say when you get older you like lose inches, and yeah,
Oh yeah.
he was a tiny little man.
So where are we now? Is this Lori's house?
Yeah, she just started. I mean, I feel like these kids are very early trick or treating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you go trick or treating
Yeah.
as a
Oh yeah,
kid?
I did.
And would you guys wait for the sun to go down, or would you?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
that was
right.
like the appropriate time.
Yeah,
Like the, it's like these
unless
kids
it's
got
on
to
a
be home.
weekend. If it's on a weekend, then you can go early or whatever.
Yeah, usually it was always like when the sun was about to go down, really, really close. Not like this. This is full daytime.
Yeah. So, do you think that she's seen that? So she didn't look away. She blunked, and he was gone. I don't think he was actually there. I think that she's starting to see him places.
Hmm.
Because how else do you explain that he was there? She didn't blink, or maybe she blinked a little bit and then he was gone. You know. So this we're seeing this poster in the background by an artist named James Ensor,
Mm-hmm.
and James Ensor was known for painting figures with masks
Interesting.
on them. So yeah, I don't know what the connection is there. That hat to the left of Lori actually makes an appearance in Halloween 2018.
Does it really?
Yeah, I
Yo,
like
that's
that
one of my favorite.
they did that. That they try to bring some of that stuff in.
I love that. One of my favorite things about movies is that everything that you see in the background right now was put there for a reason. Everything, except
Exactly.
the stuff that was put there accidentally, right? Or left there accidentally. But there's a reason why James Ensor is there. There's a reason why this hat's there. This fucking tennis racket in the back next to a heart pillow. There's
Yeah,
an absolute reason why that's all there. And that's one of my favorite things about watching a movie is just knowing
yeah. She's the all American girl that still has plushes and
that.
uh,
Raggedy Ann doll.
it's a Raggedy Ann doll, and she plays tennis. This is where the movie starts kicking in for me. Like everything's kind of set up now. Now you can tell that the sun has it's starting to go down.
Mm-hmm.
At least it's not at the high point. She's walking with this pumpkin. This place where she sits is iconic. Like if I ever go to California, like Los Angeles, I want to go to the spot and take pictures here.
Mm-hmm.
It's in South Pasadena.
Mm-hmm.
All these locations, and people say that you drive through and everything looks the same except the house. The Myers house has been moved down the block, and now it's like an orthodontist or something like that. But but they
Perfect.
but they didn't change it. It still looks the same. Um,
No, I love
yeah.
that. I would love to take pictures there as well, especially like during this time of year.
Mhm.
It's my favorite kind of weather.
I I was close to going to Pasadena for H40. They're going to have a Halloween 40th anniversary convention in South
Mm.
Pasadena, and I was going to buy tickets, but in the end, like I couldn't end up going. I was so bummed. Yo, that
Uh,
they just pulled out a spliff, smoking that ragweed. That shit looked terrible.
fucking
the
marijuana cigarette.
The paper was yellow. Like, what did you use? A
Yeah.
dictionary? Like, what the fuck?
Really, no, they must have used a page out of a phone book.
Yeah, it looked
The
bad.
yellow pages.
This story this guy tells is so great. Charlie Bowles and Dr. Loomis isn't here for it.
He's like, so I was here for a reason, not for your
Yeah.
story. I don't care about the man who killed his family. But also because I didn't really hear the first part of the story. I was wondering if it was just maybe the story from The Shining where this man killed his
Oh, I
family.
see. I see.
But unfortunately, now that I heard the beginning part clearly, it wasn't that. I just really wanted that story to tie into like some other horror something somewhere.
Well, there's this song by the Violent Femmes called Country Death Song,
Hmm.
which has a similar vibe, like kind of similar story. And I fucking love that song. If you haven't heard it, you should definitely check it out.
Okay, for sure.
Country Death Song by the Violent Femmes.
I
So,
like that Lori smoking weed. We
yeah,
know she's not a square.
exactly. I like
Hell
that. So, like,
yeah.
a lot of those tropes that came after this movie don't apply to this movie. Like, the she didn't survive because she was a virgin. She survived because her other friends were too busy trying to you know trying to get their dick
Hmm.
wet, but or trying to get a nut or whatever. Like they're too busy doing that to take a look at their surroundings to figure out what's happening.
Hmm.
That's what Carpenter was trying to say. He wasn't trying to say that promiscuous teens
Hmm.
should die. But then the movies that came after that, like Friday the 13th, Sean Cunningham,
Hmm.
aped this, but didn't understand what they were doing, and so from there, this whole like sexually active teens should be punished,
Hmm.
that sort of thing. So okay, so now this is after school. So they're on their way to go babysit, and the alarm is still going off. So the
Honestly, that
timing's
means
off here.
it has to have been that way for several hours, like 10 hours. If the cops are just now investigating, which
Right.
in a small town, what do you have to do?
Yeah.
And even then, one of the cops says it later. Oh, before tonight, this town was a really quiet night. Blah blah blah. So it's like, if that's the case, they would have been there immediately, not hours later. So yeah, there's something going on with the time. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason why they should be just now investigating.
Also, he definitely smelled that ragweed. He definitely smelled that skunk.
Hell yeah! Oh my god. I remember when I was younger, I couldn't look high in front of my parents without them saying something. And if I smelled like it, are you tired? No. Why? Well, you smell tired. Like, they would say something about it.
Yeah, and this scene right here, Dr. Loomis just came up to talk to the sheriff. I saw this movie maybe a dozen times before I noticed that it was Myers in the background there, taking
Yep.
that left turn. But that's so, man,
It's a big
masterful.
fuck you. Like, I love it. I love it
Yeah,
so much. And like with just about Donald Pleasance, he adds such a level of class to this movie that would not have been there.
yeah,
Well, they did want to have Christopher Lee for this movie, which would have been amazing. I think the only person who could have done better than Donald Pleasance, but I think just Donald Pleasance adds a level of class that this movie wouldn't have had if it wasn't for him.
agreed. I love it. This scene right here was added after after they originally shot because they needed a transition scene from the full light of that hardware store scene to the very dark night of them arriving at the house
Hmm.
to babysit. And like we're saying, if this is a small suburb, there's no way it would take them an hour to get from one house to the other house, and so they added these scenes here to show the transition time. Now we can see that the sun's going down a little bit. Even that, it's still a bit jarring, but
Oh
without this, I
yeah,
think it would have been even worse.
I agree. And just the fact that Michael is following them the whole time, like not one person is called the cops and say, "Hey, this guy's wearing a mask following this car."
Yeah.
Maybe does somebody want to look at that?
Have you seen those TikToks of like somebody driving and they pull up next to they're driving, yeah, they're driving and they're wearing the Myers mask and they pull up next to somebody and the person like loses their shit. I love that.
No, so I haven't seen those, but the TikToks I have seen are people running away from like a killer saying, this is me practicing in case I have to run away from Michael Myers and unlock my
Yes,
yeah.
I
And
love
so
those.
like watching this scene later where Laurie runs away a fair distance away from Michael Myers and tries to unlock the door, that those videos suddenly made sense.
Yeah, like 90% of the people can't do it.
Yeah.
They can't do it.
And like the only reason she couldn't is because she didn't have keys.
Yeah. So this is the we haven't even talked about who's underneath the mask. It's Nick Castle. Did the majority of the work, but I believe it was. Let me see who was Tony Moran, who's actually the face of Michael Myers at the end of the movie. So I don't recall if there was just because Nick Castle wasn't available at the time or whatever the case may be, but yeah, there's a couple Myers in this movie. So now we're in front of the Myers house. The sheriff and Dr. Loomis have just pulled up to it. The house was in disrepair when they first got to it, so they shot all the scenes like of the house looking like shit uh, first, and then they had to go back and fix it up and make it look good, like livable
Mm,
and all that for that opening shot because they shot out of sequence.
I did not know that. I always wonder, how does Dr. Loomis know so much about Michael when like Michael doesn't speak? Like what did you learn from him?
Right. He just learned that he's an evil son of a bitch.
I'm like, this sounds like you drew your own conclusion and you're just like, this guy won't talk to me. He's evil as fuck.
They just found the dead dog. No man would do that. This is no man. This is kind of disappointing. I don't like the fact that Michael Myers eats dead dog or eats dogs, kills and eats dogs.
Now, where
You
did
know,
that come from? Where because Podmortem makes this joke all the time that he loves hot dogs. Like, what was the dog? Please explain because I really want to know more
it's
about
just a
this.
stray. It's a stray dog, and he's not a cannibal, thank God, right? So he's not going to kill and eat. So he has to kill something. And what's he? Just a random, like a stray dog.
But like, how do we know the dog's been eaten? Just the fact that it's dead and in the house.
Oh, they just said it right now, like there was blood, and it says that it could have been a skunk. So skunks will eat like meat, like that. So he says could have been a skunk. I'm like, no, no. He says no man could do this,
Oh,
and
I
they
didn't
says,
know
oh, this isn't.
skunks.
Yeah,
I didn't know skunks eat like that.
meat. Yeah.
Oh, well, now I know.
Um, we should reach out to Dr. Kent Wigglebottoms and find out whether or not that's. You know what? We're living a post fact world. Facts don't matter. I said what I said. So here we get some more of Dr. Loomis talking about Myers and what he saw. He had the darkest eyes or the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. And a lot of this dialogue Carpenter wrote based off an experience he had as a college student when he went to a mental hospital and met a kid who gave him this kind of vibe. And so he's using that. And Loomis, or I should say Donald Pleasance, who I absolutely love, he hated this dialogue. He thought it was heavy-handed, and like you were saying, like
Really?
he like that it was like he was hamming it up or whatever. But he, after meeting Carpenter, he like trusted him, trusted his vision, and just delivered it.
You know, I've heard people say that about Tom Cruise. Christian Bale, when he was doing like his work, his prep for American Psycho, was like, when I look at Tom Cruise, I just see the most lifeless eyes and the most horrifying smile. And so like Bateman's smile is based off Tom Cruise, and I just think that's one of the funniest facts of trivia because whenever I look at Tom Cruise now, I'm like, you lifeless bitch.
He's an automaton now.
Definitely a robot. The popcorn they eat in this movie looks so good. Like I want some, and I hate popcorn.
Me too. It gets in your teeth. No, thank you.
every time, every time, in the most stressful way for me, anyway. The one thing I love about the '70s is that the landline had so much cord. Like you could run a mile and still have extra cord.
We
Like
had those. We had that cord in my house. Hell yeah.
same for a while.
So of course we have Annie. We hadn't even really talked about Annie. Annie is one of my favorite characters. Like she's so cool. Like I
Word?
what was that?
I said, yeah.
Yeah.
How?
You don't like Annie?
Oh, I mean, I don't dislike her. She's just whatever.
She's so much. I don't know, man. She likes to fuck with her friends. Um, she likes to like talk shit. She's like she's like wants to have sex and is not scared. Like to say it. Like she's feels liberated. As compared to Lori. Like I love Lori as well. I think they bring a good balance. Oof, creepiest one of the creepiest shot in the movies right
Mm-hmm.
here when Tommy looks across the street and just sees Michael staring at them.
He sees the shape in the darkness.
Yeah,
And this is what this I do love this. Like even when kids are being honest, adults still are like not trying to pay them any attention. And it's like
like
this
when
kid
you're
is telling you like he's helping you right now.
like when you're younger and you're trying to tell your mom something, she's on the phone and she's like, "Mom, mom, mom, mom." She like swats at you. Get the fuck out of here! So again, we just saw Michael come into frame as he's looking in on Annie, and she just spilt the butter on herself. Great scene. Like it's just
she spilled
establishing. Yeah.
she spilled some butter on herself and had to get completely naked.
This is like satanic pandemonium. As soon as you walk into your room, you take off your shirt.
Tits out. Yeah.
This is freeing, Anthony. Quit being so conservative. Jeez.
Well, you know what? When I spill butter on myself, I can't get tits out naked. So maybe I'm just jealous.
Oh man. Such a 70's kitchen. Just brick. Just messed up brick. Again with the dog. Oh my god.
Kind of glad for that scene because, like, kill the dog. Like, he stands in your way between you and your next kill. Shut the dog up. Yes.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So obviously they didn't actually kill the dog here. The dog trainer is just holding the dog, and then they did a slow mo of the dog kind of releasing a little bit.
mm-hmm.
Because for a long time I wondered how the hell they did that. Now we're seeing uh, like a Howard Hawks movie on the TV. I love the fact that Lindsay just wants to stay there and watch horror movies. I love that.
Well, I love that it's the thing. This is clearly an Easter egg by John Carpenter because he did the thing in the 80s.
Yeah. So this one was called The Thing from Outer Space, which is the original 1950s version. And then he did go on to make the remake in the 80s, which is one of the best. Like the run that Carpenter went on from like 76 with
Mm-hmm.
Assault on Precinct 13 to like the late 80s with all the movies he did is just on par with anything that any director has ever done. And he does. I don't think Carpenter gets the respect that he deserves because he was doing it in the horror genre, and we all know that horror never gets its
Mm.
It's respect, you know.
Yeah, I saw the opening and it said The Thing, and I was like, but didn't that movie come out in the 80s? And then I had to remember, oh, The Thing is actually a remake. And I was like, look at this guy. He talks about how he did this movie as like a favor, and I feel like The Thing was kind of like his gift. Like, hey, if you do this movie for us, then we'll let you direct something that you want to do, and that's The Thing. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but that's what it looks
Hey, man, it's just vibes here. Facts don't
like.
matter.
Right, yeah, cool.
If I bought a house that had a separate room just for the laundry, I'm not buying that house. No, thank you. We are moving those appliances into the house.
Yeah, that makes no sense. I shouldn't have to. No, I shouldn't have to leave the house to do laundry.
Yeah. Oh
It's just
fuck
backwards.
this. This scene right now, this image of him being behind the door through that sheer curtain, fucking amazing with the musical sting. Like it doesn't get any fucking better than that. It's difficult for me because I just want to shut up and watch the movie.
Nah, I think the music is so good in doing
Uh,
what it's supposed to do in this entire movie.
is this when we hear the lock your doors? Or did we miss that part? I'm not sure.
Ooh, I don't know.
Okay.
And then here we got the Real Housewife of Beverly Hills, Kyle Richardson. I could not believe that this was her when they had her adult character in Halloween Kills.
If we see Myers just over her left shoulder, that would be her right shoulder, but left to us, just looking in at her. Um, I I did not know that she was a celebrity or whatever.
Mm.
What is it? True
House, Real Housewives?
Real Housewives. Yeah. What kind of movie or what kind of TV show is it? Wow, I'm having a reality
Basically, just
TV. Jesus,
yeah,
I
reality
didn't
TV,
know she
rich
was a
people being
reality
rich.
TV star. Yeah. And so, is she independently rich? Is her husband rich? Like, what's the thing there?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay.
I feel like their family has something to do with Maserati, but I feel like I'm wrong. As soon as those words came out of my mouth,
Also, I'm snacking. Excuse me, but I like snack when I'm watching a movie.
I do wanna look though because now I'm interested.
So now Annie is. This is like. This is like.
So dumb.
This is like what's hot in porn right now. It's like
R-
somebody
I'm
gets
stuck.
stuck. I'm stuck. Oh, steps at it. Go, whatever.
Oh my god.
And carpets are started it all here. Um, this is just so funny. Like the relationship that these two have is kind of similar to the relationship that the babysitter has in Halloween 2018
Hmm.
with that little kid,
Yes, yeah, you're totally right.
and I love it. Little tattletale little bitch.
Hey, so you know what? Her daughter was born on Halloween 1988.
Really, that's cool.
That's really interesting. Interesting.
Wait, whose
I'm
daughter?
trying.
Lindsay's daughter?
Uh, Kyle Richards, the little girl
Okay, but she was. That's only 10
who's a
years after
real.
this movie, and so she's like 6 in this movie, isn't she? I don't know how 8. Maybe she's 9. I don't know. So she was a young mother. Okay, got it.
Well, she was born in '69.
7, 9, 8,
Oh,
9. So
so she was like 11.
no, if 88, so 69, 79, 89. She was 19 years old.
Okay,
Oh, wait, oh, 11 in the show.
in the
Whatever.
movie.
In the movie, yeah. Math, I don't do math. Don't put me out in math right
She
now.
was not. She was 9 in the movie.
Uh,
So 10 years later, she was 19.
okay, let's go. So she was a
Okay.
young mother.
Yes.
We just saw a couple seconds ago another shot of Annie walking in the kitchen, and in the background we see Myers. Like this is
Now this shot,
building dread and suspense. I fucking love it.
I feel like when we see her on the phone, that's one of those iconic shots that's like not spoken about because we see her on the phone. She walks past the door. Michael Myers is in the background. She walks by the door again, and then he's gone.
Yeah,
I just that scene alone set the basis for like so many other horror scenes in movies. It's great. It's amazing.
yeah,
I love
and
it.
it's so simple. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
they're not doing like he's not doing a lot of trick shots. There's a couple trick shots, but a lot of it is pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
The lighting is dark because they had a low budget. They couldn't afford all this fancy rig. They spent half their budget on a Panaglide camera to give it that smooth feel. You know. Now Annie's walked over to the Doyle house and is dropping off the kid for Lori to babysit. Let me ask you a question: am I getting your money? You dropping this kid off? Am I getting your money?
You giving me a cut?
Yeah.
Shit. So you can bust a nut? Mm, mm, I don't think so. I said it before. If you're getting yours, I'm getting mine. And have me take care of your kid because you want to go get fucked. I don't think so. We all want things.
So the
I
kids, I
gotta be
love
honest. I don't like any of my friends that much
to babysit.
to do their job.
Yeah,
Unless you catch me in a really good mood where I'm like, you know what? Well, I'm already babysitting a kid.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead and bring yours. It's whatever. Like you babysit one, you babysit them all.
yeah. So, so she's just tried to open the door and it's locked.
She's trying to get into Christine.
She's singing the banger again. Oh, Paul, I gave you my all. There's some bangers in here.
And you know what we didn't mention also when Fear the Reaper came on.
Right.
That's my favorite song of this movie. And Michael Myers is like right behind them in the car.
That's right.
And
Yeah,
Fear the Reaper's playing. I was like, yeah, you bet he's right there. Fear him.
that's a good point. You know what? I know the song is like iconic, like it's a really popular song. I never made the connection. Don't fear the Reaper, and he's right fucking behind you. That's great. Levels, levels. Right there on the wall, we see this the 31st. I
Hmm.
like that. Okay, just open the door. When I first realized this, I was like, "What? Fuck!" It's all
Like the
fogged up in there because, like you said, Myers got asthma.
he's breathing hard.
Yeah, this jump scare, it's amazing. The we're seeing him from outside the car. The choking could be a little bit better. She is giving it her all there, though.
Right. She's acting.
Yeah. Look at the eyes, just eyes rolling. I love. We got the next slash. That's a bit over the top here.
That's awful.
uh, but that's such a great kill. I mean, top to bottom, I don't have any complaints on any of the kills.
I don't either. My only thing is I don't think we got to see Michael Myers just grab someone and put them on a hook or some kind of spike. That's my favorite kind of Michael Myers kill. Like he just grabs you
Yeah,
and puts you in the wall where there's some random spike and it's
we'll
like you're
definitely
done.
we'll definitely
You're
see that
done.
like in like in part 4 or 5 or 6 or something like that.
Definitely in H2O and Resurrection. It's
Yeah.
for sure. It's for sure.
We saw the Howard the Duck comic that he was reading. Love it. Much
Mhm.
respect to Tommy there. Lindsay. I love this.
Kids are so stupid.
See, this is where he fucked around and found out because he tried to scare her and he ended up scaring himself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, this scene, like just this image of him carrying her in his hands. Oh man, just iconic. I have a poster, a Mondo poster of that image. I love it.
And it's crazy because like on Halloween, if I were to see that, I'd be like, "Wow, you're really committed. That's scary as fuck." Like I
Yeah,
thought you were carrying a dead body into the house. Like no, it's an actual dead body.
I love. Nobody believes me. I believe you, Tony. Like this just captures. So I know this was the babysitter murders, and then they changed it to Halloween, and it's not really about Halloween, but it's so infused with Halloween that like it makes me so happy. Just watch this movie makes me so fucking happy, and then watch it around Halloween time. It's one of the best things you can do to get yourself in the mood for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Here we're at the Myers house, and the three kids are going up there, and we get to see that Dr. Loomis has a bit of a humorous side.
He has a good American accent. He says, "Hey Lonnie, get your ass away from these." Like what is it? These
Get your
steps?
ass away from there.
Yeah.
He does this smile, and then he's scared. So exactly what happened to Tommy earlier in the scene
Mm-hmm.
happens to him as well.
Like you get
But
scared in the process of trying to scare someone else.
exactly. All right. He's
Dr.
given.
Loomis told us he's been watching him for 15 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So listen to the man. You know.
He might know what he's talking about, shockingly enough, right?
Yeah. More fancy talk. Those sideburns, bro. What the fuck, man?
Very
Loomis
70s.
looks so good here. He looks, man. He looks so like I don't know. Looks like such an
He just
authority
has the
figure. You know.
he has the aura of a man who you should be listening to.
Like he makes bald look good. Like he's bald, but I'm like, a lot of people will make bald look bad. Like he makes it look good.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it couldn't be me
Here we
though.
go.
Like I'd never go bald.
I don't want to. I can't. I don't want.
Yeah. Here's the thing. This is very weird. First, I tear your clothes off. Then he says, then we rip Lindsay's clothes off. What the fuck are you talking about here?
He wanted some kind of threesome that he was not entitled to. That's what I saw.
Well, but Lindsay's a child.
Wait. Oh, my mistake.
Yeah, Lindsay's the little girl that's being babysat.
Well, aren't I glad he died?
I just think that the actor got mixed the names up, and then they never corrected it. You know, that's the way I choose to think of it. Because otherwise, like,
Shame.
yeah, shame on your whole family.
Shame.
So Linda has just gotten to the house that Annie was babysitting, and all the lights are out here. What do we think of Bob? Like
Well,
his
now that
outfit here.
I was gonna say, well, just hearing what you told me, I'm glad he's about to die.
That's true. Okay, okay. But
This is pretty rough.
outfit wise, like Nope.
It's very late 70s. I
Yeah.
don't care.
And Myers is
Nobody
always
here is
looking in
dressed.
on Myers is always looking in on somebody fucking. Now we're back with Lori and the kids. They just finished carving that pumpkin. Pretty cool looking pumpkin.
It's like just the right size too. Like
Yeah.
when I carve pumpkins, I want it to be like huge, obnoxious.
Do you make a point to carve pumpkins every Halloween or like in the Halloween season or?
Yes and no. Like we do it because we want to, but like if we don't, it's like, oh, okay.
Hmm.
But like we want to.
Yeah, for me it doesn't feel like the Halloween season until you carve a pumpkin.
Mm.
And for me specifically, I have a routine. I have to watch Halloween and then I have to carve a pumpkin while I'm watching Halloween. That's my routine. And that to
It's hard.
me is officially Halloween.
That's how you know the season is here.
Yeah. Or no,
I
I
just
mean specifically on Halloween night. That's what I have to do on
oh
Halloween night.
really?
Yeah.
It just sucks because like I always have to ask I always have to ask my dad to help me with the eyes.
Why? Why?
No, that's just for that's just from trick or treat.
Oh, okay, okay. Yo, that one went right by me. Trick or
So
Treat is
weird.
another one of those movies that like really caught the spirit of Halloween.
Hmm.
That's a really fun one.
It's
There's
it's a part of the October rotation for sure.
yeah, another one that I added is Dark Knight of the Scarecrow,
Okay, I don't think
which
I've seen that one.
it's a made for TV movie from the 80s. Very good. You wouldn't like you could see it and not think that it was a made for TV movie.
Okay.
So we are now in the bedroom with Bob and Linda, and he is thrusting. And they, for some reason, brought a pumpkin in there with them.
Festive. I
At least she's getting more than Judith got. You
yeah.
know.
But like I'm gonna say she didn't get much more. Although
Well, he
she did
was
get a nap.
interrupted. But then after the call, all
Listen,
right.
counting the break, that shit still wasn't long enough. With a break in the middle. And she was happy, so I guess, you know
You know,
what?
there's a refractory period, Anthony. You know.
I mean, okay, yeah.
All
Can there
right.
be a period first? Like, can we have something where you need to recover from?
He thought he thought he did something here. He thought he was putting in some
I
work.
mean, apparently she had a great time, so apparently he did. He put in work,
There
but
you go.
I'm too old for it. I'm taking a shower. I'm gonna need more work.
I love the musical sting followed by like Michael walking across the room, the
Hmm.
shadow or the shape. You know. Yo, my brother had a pair of these glasses. Every time I see them, I'm like, holy shit. They're a nice little cute couple here.
Yeah, this interaction is cute. And she like all he says is yeah, and she just turns it around on him. Like
Yeah.
it's a cute interaction. I do like it. I don't know, something about him. I don't feel bad that he gets got.
This isn't your house, bro. You just going
He's
into the fridge.
comfortable
Yeah, like going in the
getting
fridge.
snacks and beers, like fucking in the master bed, leaving beer cans on the floor. Like you have no respect.
Which don't make no sense because a homeboy has a shaggin' wagon, right? Like, why do you need to go to somebody's
Hmm.
house, man?
The thrill of it.
Disrespectful little fuckers.
Hmm.
The lighting here is so great. It's dark in the
He's
kitchen. Boom. Michael jumps out of the closet.
like, you thought
Yeah.
this is, I think, as close as we're gonna get to one of those kills that I really like, where
Yeah.
yeah, Michael just pins you against the wall and impales you.
This is like terrifying.
Like that's not how bodies work. Like if you get stabbed like that, you're not sticking into the wall. Like
Right.
your body weight will you'll get sliced. You go
Another,
free.
like, this shot was reminiscent of what we saw with the dog where he just let loose.
Mm.
The blade isn't even long enough for that shot, but still a cool shot. Oh god, I love when he tilts his head. Yeah.
Iconic.
That was a Carpenter direction to the actor.
And then there's this. Like Michael fully pulls stunts. Like he's wearing a sheet and the glasses. Like
Yeah. Like, Freddie ain't the only one who can, make jokes and be funny and shit like
mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm. And like knowing full well you can't see with those glasses on. Like why are you wearing them?
Another gratuitous shot here. Um, I just love to think of Michael like going to another bedroom, grabbing a sheet, and cutting the holes for this. Be like, yo, I'm gonna scare this bitch good on this one.
Like I wonder how that went. Like, you know what? I'm really gonna trick the fuck out of her.
Yeah. But have you ever been around somebody that plays too much and won't stop fucking around? And you're like, okay, it's starting to get a little scary. I'm gonna beat your ass.
Man, unfortunately my answer is no. So now I'm thinking about, am I the person who plays too much? Like fuck.
When he starts walking towards her and the music kicks in, Jesus, man.
This music kicks in when you're playing Dead by Daylight and he's the killer.
Yes.
Man, when that music starts playing, I piss my shit instantly. I'm like, I fucked up. He's right here.
You're like, ah.
Like, fuck.
Again,
I love how
this
Lori
is,
doesn't know if this is like some sort of obscene phone call. I love that.
yeah,
Black Christmas.
yeah.
It's almost as if John Carpenter was around.
Oh man, this shot right here where he just comes up and puts the receiver to his face. Like, imagine that as a clown mask. That would probably be comical, like you would
Too
just laugh
silly,
at it.
yeah.
Yeah. With
And
that
I think
blank, emotionless
Halloween has not.
face. Sorry.
I think Halloween has not been able to capture the creepiness of this mask in most of the other sequels. Like I think this has the creepiest version of the mask, and Halloween 2018 and Kills provide something different when it looks a little bit burned and worn out.
Uh-huh.
Like I think it's very hard to capture the creepiness, and I'm very glad we get it here because it sets us up like, hey, this man's creepy, it's weird, it's scary, get with it.
Yeah. So she's just checking in on the kids, and she's going to go across the street to check in on her friend.
I'd be so scared to walk across the street. Like, fuck, if these kids get endangered in any kind of way, it's my fault. It's my ass.
Yeah, but they're not your kids, so
I mean, but still, that's potential revenue. Like, I can't be a babysitter anymore because I don't
that's
babysit.
that's true. That's true. It's fucking with your bottom line.
Like the one time you babysat, the kids got killed. It's pretty bad for your resume.
So look, so he's at the Myers house. Loomis is at the Myers house, and he spots the car, but now he's jogging down the street, and he's found the car. So
Okay, this goes back to
like
this goes back to what you were saying. How big is Haddonfield?
how big is Haddonfield? How good is this old ass motherfucker's eyesight? Also, how good is the police force? if that car has just been there all night, like what's happening? Jamie Lee
Mm-hmm.
Curtis is giving it right here, by the way. Jesus Christ, she's a beautiful lady. I love this outfit. I know you don't like the 70s outfit for the most part, like a lot of the fashion has been crappy, but like this outfit right here is a very smart looking outfit.
No, this is peak 70s. This is peak white 70s. Like,
Bad 70s or okay.
good. Like, this is
Okay.
Farrah Fawcett inspired, very
Mhm.
of the time, very, yeah, no, I don't hate it. I don't
Yeah.
hate it.
So she's just gotten her keys and she's crossing the street, or she's getting ready to cross the street. We hear the creepy music. No belts. She just has to accessorize a little bit, you know?
Right. I mean, she's not going to Studio 54 or anything, but she could still have a good time. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a shaggin' wagon right there. We see it. Looks good.
This is just like very good, creepy, very just well done.
That's the thing that they're letting the scene breathe.
Hmm.
It's drawing out the dread in you, and it's the suspense. You know, like, and this movie isn't very bloody.
Yeah, no, not at all.
You
Not at
know,
all.
he allows you, like, a lot of times they cut away, or you know, they allow you to make up in your mind something that's worse than what you can see on TV. You know,
Hmm. Hmm. I'm pretty sure that's her outfit in Dead by Daylight too.
it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
this outfit, and then the you can get a separate one that's the outfit that she was wearing home from school with the knee high socks and all that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I have that skin. At this point, are you going in, or are you just gonna call the cops or something?
I'm taking the kids and we're going to the next town over. What the fuck? I'll call you in the morning. I'm like, hey, some weird shit was going on. I didn't feel comfortable being in town. So I'll
Yeah, I
take the
know I
kids,
kidnapped these kids, but you know, I was feeling unsafe a little bit.
but they're alive. Hey, tell me how many kids have been murdered on the news. Tell me.
Annie, Linda, Bob. So she's gone around to the back of the house. She saw that the door was open and walked in
Mhm.
anyway. Turn a light on. I mean, just
Right. Like, there's no reason not to. You're allowed to see.
yeah. Now the reveal here isn't my favorite. Like just like them being stacked like in different scenes or whatever, like the body falling down. It has never been my favorite. And then it got mimicked so much in other movies afterwards, you
Hmm.
know, when you stumble on all the bodies. Like
Friday the
the
13th and Sleepaway Camp definitely copied it.
yeah, like I don't like the idea of Michael taking time to pose all these things, except for Judith. The where he has Annie, is it Annie who's on the bed with the Judith Myers
Hmm.
tombstone? Like
Hmm.
that's really cool. That's fairly simple, right? But like other stuff, you know, not always my
But
favorite.
I have to tell you, because of this, this is why Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills is not like a massive outlier in the series. Like, we've seen from jump that Michael Myers pulls stunts. He's
Yeah,
about the dramatics. And so in Halloween Kills and Halloween 2018, when he sets the bodies up on the little
yeah.
toy at the park, like, Michael Myers does this shit. He's about the dramatics and he will make a scene. And so, like, just seeing it happening in these later movies tells me, like, hey, nah, he's one of the girls. He causes a scene. We love it.
He loves a tableau.
He's gonna cause a scene, and I love that. He's gonna set up a scene, very very artistic, very. I feel like he's read some good literature and he knows about causing a scene.
So this shadow that's falling on the floor from the light that's coming from behind this door looks like a blade, and I've always loved that part of it. So she just opened the door and she's walking into, and she just sees Annie's body, Judith Myers, with that musical sting and the pumpkin. Although he made the bed.
Stunts, stunts, tricks, and shenanigans.
if this
He's
was
about it.
if this was the bedroom where they were fucking earlier, he made the bed. Michael's a tiny motherfucker. I like it.
I'm telling you, he's an artist. He's
Yeah,
about the scene and the setup. Look at that.
we
This
just
is a
found.
whole interactive art experience. Look at
We
that.
just see Linda. Then we see Bob. We saw Bob earlier. Okay, absolute favorite scene in the movie coming up here.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, absolutely. John Carpenter was talking about this scene, how they try to make it seem as if your eyes were finally adjusting to the dark, and so that's why you can finally see Michael Myers in the background. And
Hmm.
I absolutely love it. It's very artistic. It's very thoughtful, and I don't think this has been imitated since.
Yeah, um, just amazing. And they did it with a dimmer switch.
Hmm.
They focused the light on him and just dimmed it, brought it up a little bit. So good. This very much feels like Dead by Daylight. You're
Yes.
running away from the killer, looping. They did a great job.
No. Like watching this movie, like I literally got the idea of like, hey, Dead by Daylight may be a game, but they had Michael Myers in mind. Like because
Yeah,
the only music that works perfectly, Michael Myers. Some Freddy, but getting chased around by the shape, terrifying. It's a scary experience every time I play.
yeah. She breaks the fake glass, and manages to escape. And now these neighbors
Man.
ain't shit. None of these neighbors ain't shit, man. But
I'm the neighbor.
honestly, what am I
I'm the
gonna
neighbor
do?
looking out from the blinds like, well, that doesn't really have anything to do with me now, does it? All right.
Yeah. But this is also terrifying, like you're in the
Mm-hmm.
suburbs. You're not out. It's not like Texas Chainsaw Massacre where you're out on a farm isolated. You're in the suburbs. These people are your neighbors. Well, not so much for her, but you know, it's a neighborhood, and they
Mm-hmm.
are not willing to help. And it goes back to there was a crime that happened. Believe it was in like New York in the 50s or 60s or something, where a woman was killed by a man. It was like in this courtyard of this huge apartment building,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
she was screaming for help, and nobody helped her. Nobody called the cops because everybody said, "Oh, the other person's going to call the cops."
Mm-hmm.
That's living life in the big city, man. It's terrifying. Now
Mm-hmm.
she's trying to get in, and Michael's chasing her. This is the Michael Myers thing that
Yes.
we were talking about earlier.
Me trying to get into the house while Michael Myers is chasing me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you got this sleepy ass kid. Get the fuck down
Get,
here, kid.
yeah, like I'm yelling, you little piece of shit. And
You
Hillary
you
and
have
I,
no bills to pay. You don't have to go to work tomorrow. If you don't get your fucking ass down here right now and unlock this door,
like if it was me, I would have mollywopped him right here. I would just like,
oh,
bitch,
absolutely. This kid's getting popped in the mouth for sure. For sure.
a throat punch.
All this trouble
Hillary,
you caused us.
Hillary and I say the keys all the time. Here she realizes he's already in the house. I mean, this is terrifying. She grabs that sewing needle and out he comes.
Grab a weapon, hell yeah.
Oof. right in the
Whack
neck,
in the neck, bitch. How dare you?
and then
How
just
dare you
drops.
play with
Boom.
me?
Like she's that bitch. And here's the thing: people say, "Why did she drop the knife? Why did she drop the knife?" Think about it. She's living through a traumatic experience. She's just put a needle through somebody's neck. She doesn't think he's gonna wake back up. Like she thinks he's dead. She has no reason to think she's still gonna need the knife. And he stabbed her with that knife, and so she's bleeding from her arm. She doesn't want to keep the knife that just almost killed her. Like people watch this movie and think like they're watching a movie that was made in 2021 or something. This movie came out in 1978, and there's reasons why the thing happened. You're
Hmm.
seeing it now because it's become a trope, but this should happen before that. Respect the game.
And no one is gonna logically think like, you know what, this guy's incapacitated. Let me cut his head off, just to make sure. Or like, let me stab him in the eye. Let me stab him in the forehead. Like,
Yeah,
you think he's down and out for the count? Like, you're not gonna do anything extra. Like, you think you're safe, and you're a kid.
yeah, yeah. She's like 17 or 18 in this movie. Well,
It's like, you know
she's
what? Let me slash this guy's throat just to be sure.
yeah,
Nobody's gonna think that way. Maybe fucking Loomis over here, but nobody else. Like Loomis was going in for the kill for sure, but nobody else was.
yeah. Loomis was done with the talking, so she's now gone upstairs. She's been all fucked up. Her ankles fucked up. She fell down the stairs. She got slashed at. This is where the boogeyman is introduced. She brings up later. Oh, you see the shadow of him walking up the stairs. Music starts. He's just standing there like a fucking creep. She does something smart here, which I really, really like. She runs to the door and opens it, but then she runs to the closet.
Hey, that's what you have to do in Dead by Daylight to escape the killer too. Like distract. Yes, I love. I'm telling you, Dead by Daylight was created with him in mind. I know
Yeah.
it.
No, the music is going in there. It's so fucking like anxiety inducing.
Hmm. And like the movie gets more claustrophobic as we go on. We went from a neighborhood to a house, and now we're in a closet.
Oh man,
Very tight, very
that's a
tight.
great point.
So like it for me, it's very easy to understand why it's harder to breathe as this movie goes on because we are in tighter and tighter spaces, and I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
The terror on her face. She's like, please, please hold. Please, this like cheap wooden door, like slat door, please hold, but it's not. When Michael decides, fuck it, I'm done with this, and just starts punching him out, you're like,
Yeah.
God damn it. He hears heavy breathing in the mask. Like honestly, like she's thinking on her toes. Like I never would have thought to grab a hanger and just poke this motherfucker's eye out.
No.
Like I would have used it like a gancho, like to fucking hit you with, like my mom used to do. But she poked him in the eye. He drops the knife, and she's quick thinking. Ooh, right in the stomach. This one I will fault her for. When she drops the knife a second time, then we're like, okay,
You're not
you
okay with
should,
that?
yeah, let's learn a little bit. But again, same thing. Like you're not thinking they're gonna get up, but that's a big ass knife, man.
But at this point, when you've already thought you killed him, you kind of need to take a little extra step to like,
Yeah, this one's on her.
she should not have thrown the knife.
I liked this part that they did it again in H2O. Do you remember that? Towards the at
Oh
the end of
no.
the movie, she tells her son, Josh Hartnett, whatever, and his
Hmm.
girlfriend to get into the closet. Do as I say, and then they get in the closet, and then after she's done whatever, she goes back and tells them to leave or whatever. So they mirror that in H2O.
Oh, I love that.
So now she's told the kids to run out and get the cops.
I love how they're all quiet right now, and then when
Oh.
they run out of the house, pure yelling. Which good for them. Creepy Dracula ass shot.
He just did it the way he sits up. Like nothing in any horror movie can beat that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that scene of her in the front and him in the back and him just standing up like that. Like nobody's watching him. Why does he do that? You don't need to do that.
Mm-hmm. Stunts. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
this man pulls tricks.
So now she's gotten up and he's gotten up and he starts to slowly walk towards her. He's getting closer and she makes a move to walk away. Oof. And he grabs her, starts choking her. To be fair, he doesn't use a knife again, so her dropping the knife has no consequences.
To be fair, he looks kind of thick. Man's got an ass back there. What the fuck? Michael Myers brought cake to the party. What the hell?
So she took off his mask, and Loomis showed up and shot him not once, not twice, thrice, 4, 5, 6 times,
He shot him
and
six
he
times.
shot him 6 times, and he falls off the ledge. What I was going to say was when she took off the mask and I saw his deformed face,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was deformed. I'd never put the two and two together that his eye looked like that because she just hit him in the eye with the hanger.
Oh, true. Okay.
So
Same.
she asks, "Was that the boogeyman?" As a matter of fact, it was. You can see on her face there's lines on it, like
Mm-hmm.
like when you're sleeping for a long time, from you get lines on your pillow because she was napping before that scene on the couch, and then they woke her up to do that scene, and she still had the lines on her face from that.
I love that.
So Loomis goes out to see his work, where Michael Myers just fallen on the ground and he's gone, and he looks down and he says, or he doesn't say anything. Beautifully acted by Donald Pleasance, where he's like, I knew this was going to happen. I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
Then the
He's
music
been
kicks
said.
up, and we just see visions of the house and different locations that we've been at throughout the night. And then slowly we start to hear Michael Myers breathing hard through the mask, like saying he could be literally anywhere right now.
Mm-hmm. I bet he's got a big old pipe. What? No.
Well, he does have a pipe that he uses in DVD to kill people, so that's one of the weapons you can buy.
That's what I meant. Yes. Weapon wise. Hey,
So
as
the
as most 70s movies tend to end abruptly, Black Halloween credits.
oh yeah,
Fin de la película.
the music goes up as the credits. The music continues as the credits come up. On honestly, just a great, just an amazing movie. Like we're lucky to live at the time in which this movie exists. Some
Mm-hmm.
people didn't live to be able to see this movie, and I honestly feel bad for them. But yeah, man, that's the movie. That's Halloween. We did it. Um, for me, like just talking through it with you, like it made me love this movie even more. Like it has some minor faults here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we see Kim Gottlieb. She did the stills. She became a very, very famous photographer, and like in the art world. And she actually had a book of pictures that she took from Halloween from this movie, and I have it. It's a lot of the famous behind the scenes pictures you see are from Kim Gottlieb. So, music performed by the Bowling Green Philharmonic Orchestra. That's just John Carpenter. He didn't want it to see written directed and music done by Carpenter and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, this movie, oh man, I love it more. What did you think about it?
I loved it. It's one of those movies that I thought it's just one of those movies that's just part of the horror zeitgeist. So like you know about this movie even though you haven't seen it, and I was very pleased to find out that this movie did offer just a little bit more than I thought it had. There was a little bit more story to it. There was a little bit more terror and fright to it, which I truly really appreciated. And I understand why this movie has like its pillar in horror. What's the word? Why it's a staple in horror, and it's great. And I think I like the sequels that came from this movie a lot more than the other sequels, like the Freddy sequels or
Ah.
Friday the 13th. Uh, I think this movie may have the best sequels.
Um, of the top three,
Yeah, yeah. Well, how about this? It had the sequels that I enjoyed the most.
yeah. Like this is for me. This is like coming home. Like this movie is so like I don't have a lot of um, what do you guys call it? Like movies like that you like to go back to time and time again. Comfort
Like
movies, I guess.
nostalgia. Oh, okay, gotcha.
I don't have a lot of those except for Halloween. You know, like Halloween is the one that I could throw on multiple times throughout the year and just like kick back and like feel like I'm back home again. You know. So yeah, I absolutely love it. As far as the sequels are concerned, like, do you want to do a rating? I mean, a listing of the sequels?
A ranking? Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
I want your ranking so bad.
All right, let's
Yes,
do it.
yes, yes, yes.
All right, let me pull this up. So I'm pulling up the Halloween franchise. All right, so obviously we're gonna include Halloween and Halloween Kills. Can include Halloween Ends. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 12 movies, including the bullshit zombie movies, right? All right, I'm ready. You got yours written down?
I do.
So do you want me to go first or you go first?
I'll go first because I
Okay.
want your opinion
Okay.
the final. So here's my rating of the Halloween movies. So I have Halloween 1 and 2. That's the first and second slot.
Okay.
Halloween H2O and Halloween Resurrection because those are the first Halloween movies that I ever watched from my own perspective. And then Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and I also have Halloween Ends because I'm like this is my favorite of the franchise. It's super modern. It's a sequel to the first movie, and I like what they've been doing with those so much. Um, Halloween 4 and 5, I haven't seen, so that's why they're so low. But also Halloween 3 is at the bottom of my list because it's not a part of the Michael Myers story, so I really don't care about it. It doesn't need to be called Halloween. It just is. So yeah, Halloween 1, Halloween 2, H2O, Resurrection, 2018, Kills, Ends, 4, 5, and 3.
And then you didn't include the Rob Zombies.
No,
Okay.
they
We'll
don't
do
need to
that.
be.
All right. We're not. They're not going to be on the list. Okay. So, I think like this is very chaotic, and this is just how I'm feeling now. But I'm going to say Halloween one, the original, then H2O because I fucking love H2O, but I might be biased as well because I did see it on my 16th birthday. Um, and H2, like Halloween 2, the original, then Halloween 2018, then Halloween 4, then at number 6, Halloween Kills, at number 7, Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, at number 8, Halloween 3, because like you said, it's not part of the Myers universe,
Mm-hmm.
but I do like it. Like I'm almost want to just leave it on its own list, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're ranking, and
That's where I'm
then
at. Yeah.
at number 9, Halloween 5, and at number 10, Halloween Resurrection. I didn't like it, man. I didn't like it, but I could see like you're biased in that it was, you know, you saw the movie with your mom, just like I'm biased for H2O because it was one of the first movies I saw, or I saw it on my birthday, or whatever. That's why it has such a high ranking. Um, but yeah, H1, H2O, H2, H 2018, H4, Halloween Kills, H6, H3, H5, and Resurrection. That's my ranking. That's my ranking right now. Might change later. I feel like H2O and H2 kind of go side by side. But like when 2018 came out, I was like, well, I liked it better when they did H2O. You know, it's very similar. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
I liked I'm sorry, the H2O Laurie showed more than I like this current Laurie showed. But
Oh yeah, really?
yeah, I do. I know she had a better relationship with her child, you know, that sort of thing. But I'm excited. I still that's not to say I don't like this version of her or whatever. Uh, I'm really excited for Halloween Ends. See where that takes us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so I guess I got to do it. I got to ask you, as we do, out of 5 upside down crosses, what would you give Halloween 1978?
Hmm. Out of five upside down crosses, I want to give it a four, but I think it can take a five with no problem. Like, I think if I granted this a five, it wouldn't be like, oh, how could you ever come up with that? Because this movie is pretty great. It's often imitated but not replicated. Uh, I'm gonna say four. I'm gonna say 4.5, but it could be a five.
So you're gonna say 4 or 4.5?
I'm gonna say four. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say four.
Okay, that's cool. So 4, that's still a good movie. That's a great movie, you know.
Yeah. So, Miguel, what's your rating? I don't think we got that.
Yeah, I mean, this goes. It's not a surprise at all. I'm gonna give this 2.5 upside down crosses, just because I felt like it was lacking.
Bullshit.
No,
Bullshit.
this is 5 stars. It's a perfect movie for me. It is the perfect mix of uh, terrifying and like scary. The music, the acting is good. Like there's not a lot of uh, actors that you're like, oh, come on now. Um, Donald Pleasance really elevates the movie, like you were saying. Jamie Lee
Mm-hmm.
Curtis in her first big time role, like a lot of the supporting cast was just great. John Carpenter did his thing. Deborah Hill did her thing. Tommy Lee Wallace, like everybody did their thing, and it's just an amazing movie. I love it with all my heart. 5 upside down crosses.
Valid. Totally valid.
Cool. All right.
I can understand where that comes from for sure.
So then my next question is on the sliding scale. See, here's the thing. We had just done The Hills Have Eyes, and that really fucked us up. And I don't remember where we landed. Um, but we had just done Satanico Pandemonium, and we were riding high off Satanico Pandemonium and Carrie, and we were riding high. And then Hills Have Eyes kind of crashed down a little bit. So, on a sliding scale from 1 to 10, where are you at overall on the 70s?
I'm gonna say six.
Okay. All
That's
right. Six.
at least a six.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's if we take a look at the movies that we've fucked up on, The Hills Have Eyes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Multiple Maniacs a little bit, but you've come around on Multiple Maniacs.
Mm-hmm. I have. Yeah, I
So
have.
at this point, we've done 9 movies, and you've liked 7 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So multiple maniacs you've come around on. You like Blood on Satan's Claw. You love Blackula. You love Torso, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then you love Satanical Pandemonium. You loved Carrie, and you loved Halloween. Like 7 out of 9, and you're at a 6 out of 10. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Anything above a 4, like or a 5, just middling is good for me. But like you said, I don't know if it was last episode that you started at like a 1, or a 0
Yeah,
possibly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But also,
So
Miguel, take a look at what I'm wearing.
yes, is this like a mustard yellow shirt?
Yes, with these Malcolm X glasses,
Yes.
I'm inspired by the 70s.
Okay. All right. Hell yeah.
Telling you, it's crept its way into my life. Look at this. Look
Well,
at
the other
this.
day you were watching. I don't remember what it was that you said that you watched, but it was like a '70s movie, and I was like, "What the hell?" Or just randomly on your own exploring.
Yeah, the spell. Oh my god, it's a Carrie ripoff. It starts off as a Carrie ripoff, but ends
Yeah.
up as something way more. But yeah, I've been. Look at. I'm influenced. Look at
All right.
this. Look at this.
You love to see it. You love to see it. All right. So then, I guess I'm kind of sad to say it. Next week, tune in next week for the last episode of My 70s Confessional, where we will be discussing a movie from 1979. Um, have we picked out the movie yet? I was trying to
The
pull it up real quick.
prophecy.
Yes. Okay, that's right. Okay. Uh, okay. So join us next week as we'll be discussing the prophecy from 1979. We're gonna go out with a bang. It's a killer, like mutant grizzly bear, and I am so fucking excited for this. I've never seen it. Anthony's never seen it. When we were kind of deciding what we're gonna go out with for the decade, and we pulled up the prophecy. I was like, "Fuck yes, we need to do this." So tune in next week for that. Also, we got a little special treat for you. We're also going to be covering Halloween 2. That's going to be specifically on the Patreon. So if you didn't know, I do have a Patreon. If you'd like to support, we do have various levels. You get bonus content. You get the episodes earlier than anybody else. You get bonus episodes. You get stickers. You get comic books, depending on what level you go. You get more content from Anthony Jerome M, which is what everybody's always looking for. So yeah, if that's something that you're interested in, go on to Patreon/ My Horror Confessional. Anthony, if you could please let everybody know where they could follow you.
You can find me on twitter.com, Anthony Jerome M, AnthonyJeromM, Anthony Jerome M. I'm just telling you right now, that's where I go to have fun. If you're trying to tell me what I should do or what you think I should do, Twitter's not the place for us. That's not where we're gonna have a good relationship. But if you want to joke around, talk about chicken and shrimp and food and being drunk, give me a follow and we'll chat. Miguel.
If you're looking for some hilarious tweets, follow Anthony Jerome M. He has some fucking shocking ones as well. Um, I could cut this one out. I could cut this one out as well. But yesterday, or maybe this morning, I woke up to a tweet from Anthony that said the liquor went straight to my cock. I was like, Jesus Christ! It's 7:30 in the morning, Anthony.
No, hey, I posted that at like 11 p.m.
Yes,
and
you did. You did.
that was the appropriate time to post it. You
Yes, you
saw
did.
it.
But I was fucking cracking up, man. I loved it. If you want me to cut that, I can. It's up to you.
No,
Okay.
because that's the kind of shit you're gonna see on my Twitter when the scotch goes straight to my fucking cock.
And if you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at
Look, he's stunned.
Jesus
Can't even remember
Christ.
my MHC pod
Look at you. Look at you.
for my
Uh,
horror confessional. Miguel is Miguel Myers ATX.
All right. Okay. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at MHCPod. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it's at My Horror Confessional. If you would like to email the show, you can email me at myhorrorconfessional@gmail.com. Once again, if you'd like to support the podcast, you can do so on Patreon, patreon.com/myhorrorconfessional. Also, if you wouldn't mind giving us some reviews, 5 stars only. I'm accepting nothing less than 5 stars. Uh, uh, Spotify, you can also rate us there as well, and Apple Podcasts, whatever the hell it's called. I don't have Apple. I don't know. iTunes, probably. Just do that. Would appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye.